Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to part 3 of What If Goku Could Spam Zenkai Boosts. You guys have absolutely been loving this series. Like, it's crazy how I've never took a break this long and then came back and still got shown this much love. I don't mean ever. Like, normally my views dropped to like 100, like my first break, the break before this, when I came back, my video got 97 views in 3 weeks. And I know some of you are hearing that just start and think, yes, I want 190, I want views. And I'm not saying I'm not grateful for them views, but I'm used to high, if you get what I mean. It's hard to explain. I'm not trying to sound all stuck up. So, but the fact that this first one nearly is at 4,000 views now is insane to me. So I just wanted to say I really do appreciate all the love that you guys have given me to this series. And yeah, so let's try get another 100 likes on this video. And also, just before I start it, I want to apologise for this video. It's not a bad video. It's just like near the end you'll be able to tell, as I'm scripting it, my mind just blew up in it. Like, I just had a whole different idea that I wanted this story to go. So you're going to be able to tell how it shifts up a bit in it. But other than that, guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this. Let's cue the intro. We now go to Goku, Gohan, Piccolo and Krillin, who are at Kami's lookout discussing their plans, and how do you say his name? Kami explains that him and Piccolo are Namekians from the planet Namek. Who would have thought Namekians and Namek? Fucking hell. Wait, are we at the 32nd? Yeah, we are. And then goes on to explain that he's been getting sort of like these SOS signals from his people, the Namekians, and he assumes it because the tyrant known as Frieza is there. Goku immediately asks how can they get to Namek and help. Kami laughs and says, that's what I thought you'd say, and you can go to Namek the same way I came to Earth. Goku is confused, but Kami tells him to follow Mr. Popo, and they do so, and eventually they're at this like desolate location. But after Mr. Popo says a few words, the ground begins to shake. Piccolo and Gohan get ready for a fight out of like their reflex in it. They train together, they fight together, they have a reflex together. Until a weird ship breaks out of the ground. Mr. Popo then says, this is the ship Kami came to Earth on. Since we saw your potential when you were just a young child, we have been preparing it and upgrading it since we assumed that you'd eventually need it. Not to go to Namek, but to explore the universe. We've changed it to your language, English, to make it easier, easier to use and all that. We made it able to create its own food and water, meaning an infinite resource, so you won't need to worry. And the feature you'd probably enjoy most is it has its own section for training where you can control the gravity strength. Hearing this, Goku and Gohan get excited and plan to leave for Namek. Like, they plan for in a week they're gonna go. So Goku and Gohan return home to tell Chi-Chi, and they're then shitting it as she immediately disagrees and begins to yell that she will never let him train again. And after, especially after being gone for all that time. Gohan, listening to this, is slowly getting fed up, but Chi-Chi yells, you will never train again and you will never fight again. You will stay in this house and read books until you're a well-paid professor. Hearing this, Gohan snaps and yells, will you shut up for once in your life? Hearing this, Chi-Chi's world collapses. A baby little boy just told her to shut up. Goku panics and he says, hey Gohan, calm down, let me talk to her, I'll sort it. Gohan says, no dad, I'm done with this. Gohan turns to Chi-Chi and says, I'm done with all this studying. I'm done with you trying to turn me into someone I'm not. I'm done with it. I'm done with it all. I hate studying when I sit there reading all these books you force me to read and reading all these lines. And writing the essays. Why do I write essays? I'm not even in school. It feels like my body is going to explode. I don't want to be some stupid professor. Chi-Chi cuts in and says, the money go, Gohan, and the respect, you'll be able to live a comfortable life. Gohan says, would you rather me have money than to be happy? Chi-Chi goes quiet for a second and then Gohan continues. And about the respect, the most respected man in the world is Mr. Satan, and you know why he's the most respected? It's because the world thinks he's the strongest. It's because he won the World Martial Arts Tournament. I don't know what it's actually called, I won't lie. And guess what? Because he won that, he's also rich. So whether you like it or not, I'm gonna go with Dad to fight and train and fight one of the strongest in the universe, and you can't stop me, because training and fighting is what makes me happy, not those stupid books that you keep wasting our money on. Cheesy stays quiet but suddenly explodes. How dare you disagree with your mother? I know what's best for you. You are going to stay here and study. You don't need to be a professional if you don't want to, but you need to be educated. She tries to pull him away into the room so he studies a bit, but unlike the usual, Gohan doesn't let her. He uses his superhuman strength that always annoyed him he didn't use in canon and just stands there. Gohan's anger is slowly growing, and Goku knows this as he can sense Gohan's power slightly increasing. So to stop it all from going batshit crazy, he intervenes and says, Hey, how about this? Gohan can fight Gohan can fight in the martial arts tournaments, and if he wins, not only will he get money, but he'll also be respected. And then he gets to train and fight as much as he wants. But if he loses, he has to find time to study instead of training. After hearing this, Chi-Chi reluctantly agrees and just asks them both to promise to come back in one piece. Hearing this, Goku and Gohan get all excited to pack up their stuff, and a week flies by for them, and they're at their location and are told to be ready to leave. They all get on the ship and look around amazed. It was like a 5-star hotel, and getting used to it and after they get used to it, they are ready to take off, I don't know how else to say it, and head to Namek. Since Goku uses Kami's ship instead of the one that Bulma's dad would make, the trip took for like 34 days like in canon instead of the 6 days. I don't know if that's accurate, I had to do my research. And in this time, all 4 of them had their own individual gravity chambers, and all trained non-stop with amplified gravity, each choosing their own level. Krillin, being the weakest, trained at times 50. Piccolo trained at times 200, Gohan trained at times 500, and Goku trained at times 1500. And I know before you little bitches start coming at me in the comments, no, but that isn't possible, they're not strong enough. It's a what if, brother. A what if is whatever I say is possible. And yeah, so they trained at that gravity. By the time they reached Namek, they all had an insane power boost. Krillin had reached 550,000. Piccolo reached 3 million, Gohan reached 15 million, and Goku sat at a steady 35.1 million, I'm joking, 35 million. And yeah, this is all their base forms, if you're wondering. And if you're wondering why Gohan got so much stronger, it's because his Zenkai boost is easier to activate than Goku's. It activates anytime he even gets a bit angry. And before you say, oh my god, that's just so overpowered, that should be Goku's ability. When I mean anytime it activates when he gets angry, I mean like anytime, but it's not like a normal Zenkai boost. If he just gets a bit pissed off, like he missed the live stream of his new favourite YouTuber, he'd probably get like +2 to his power level. That's why he's been growing consistently. But if it's a lot of rage, then yeah, he'd be madness. So like I'm trying to put it into perspective for you. If Gohan didn't get all these Zenkai boosts, instead of being 15 million, he'd probably be at like 5 or 7 million, which is still insanely high compared to canon, don't get me wrong. When they all arrive, they immediately head towards a location, the first one they could see that showed the Dragon Ball, and yes, of course they got that Dragon Radar. Goku doesn't lack with that, he does not slack. Using the Dragon Radar, when they arrive, they are met by a Namekian who yells, "Are you here with that bastard Frieza?" Goku tries to explain, but being the stupid guy he is, instead of saying no or not, he says, "We're here for the Dragon Ball." The Namekian takes this as a confirmation that they are allied with Frieza and is getting ready to attack, until Piccolo steps up from behind Goku and says, "Sorry about this idiot. We're not from here and we're not with Frieza. We're actually here to stop him." Due to Piccolo also being a Namekian, the guy calms down and introduces himself. "I'm Nell. And before you guys say it, that's not his name. I actually don't know his name. I ain't watched Dragon Ball Z in a long time. I'm just going from what I remember watching Dragon Ball Z abridged. And if you watched that, you're my favourite fan, I can't lie." Piccolo takes over for Goku and explains that they are from Earth and why they are there. Hearing this, Nell says, I understand. And from what I can sense from your power level, even though most of it is suppressed, it's incredible. You must have been trained insanely hard to get to that power. Piccolo laughs and says, yeah, something like that. Getting flashbacks to the gruesome training he had to do. Nell takes them into the little hut where they see a much larger Namekian. I'm not fat shaming, don't get me wrong, but he was a big bastard. Nell introduces himself as the Grand Guru. Nell introduces him as the Grand Guru, and the Guru begins to speak and says, "Warriors from a faraway land, thank you for coming to aid us in this time of need. Although we do not have much to offer you, we can give you this Dragon Ball as well as I can unlock your latent potential, or should I say hidden. Hearing this intrigued all the Z fighters. Gohan won up first and had his potential unlocked, then Krillin, then Piccolo, and then finally Goku. Their new power levels, Krillin is 1 million, Piccolo is 30 million, Gohan is 60 million, and Goku is a steady 80 million. With this power coursing through their body, all the Z fighters were ready to go. They were blazing, and they all decided they was all leaving like the Guru sat. But that's when the Guru says, I also gave you the ability to communicate by thought. It won't last forever, but it'll be useful while you're here. You can use your ki to like use the ability, and it does use a bit like a, oh my god, stop stuttering, you bastard. Although it does use your ki, it isn't for your power level, it won't strain you at all, even for the weakest one of you. All the Z fighters leave except for Piccolo, who's kept behind by Nell. He begins to give a heartfelt story. He says, you grew up on another world, and yet you're still doing more for this planet than I am. And I was raised here. I'm meant to be its strongest warrior, its strongest protector, and yet I'm not going to do nothing. If you would allow it, I'd like to fuse with you. I would be eternally grateful, and at least that way I'd be able to serve my planet, and before you panic, you'd still be in full control. Piccolo agrees with this as it's a free power up, innit? And Nell fuses with Piccolo, pushing his power from 30 million to 40 million. The Z fighters now have split up to go find the Dragon Balls. Sorry guys. Considering that they're all strong enough to defend themselves, it wouldn't be a problem for them to split up. Goku, Gohan and Piccolo, all on their own, have found 1 Dragon Ball each, so that's 3 Dragon Balls together. But they just couldn't find the other ones. And that was because, guess what? Vegeta had him. Before all you Vegeta fans start bitching saying, oh, I forgot him. No, I didn't forget him. Like, I just didn't have time to include him in the plot if I wanted to make the series go the way I wanted it to go. Like, he's not irrelevant to this part, but he's irrelevant now. I mean, he's relevant now. And so, yeah. All the stuff that happened in canon happens. Like, yeah, but the only one thing that is different, the Dora and Zarbon didn't come at him one at a time. They tag teamed him. But remember, he trained a lot, and he did get a decent Zenkai boost, so he was able to fight him. But he beat them all and killed them, but he was left injured. So he was now sitting in his cave, slowly trying to recover and heal. That's when Krillin using the Dragon Radar saw that there was a location and there was 4 bloody Dragon Balls. He thought he struck gold, and so he went there at full speed. He was now at the entrance of the cave, and Krillin wasn't stupid. He could sense Vegeta. I'm not gonna come with that excuse, but Krillin just couldn't sense him because of the plot. But Krillin wasn't afraid. Krillin is now a lot stronger than he was in canon. And so Krillin just walked into the cave. And by the way, before you say it, I did not think I was going to say Krillin's stronger than Vegeta, but yeah. So Krillin marched in. That's when Vegeta saw him and he just laughed. Who would have thought I would have met you here? Vegeta begins to laugh and says, this is your one chance and to leave. I won't kill you, I promise. Krillin says, I should be the one telling you that in your condition. Vegeta laughs and says, even like this, I could still easily kill you. This was because Vegeta could not sense energy yet, and he had no idea how strong Krillin had become. Krillin says, I'm taking these Dragon Balls. You're not doing nothing to stop me, and he begins to walk towards Vegeta. Vegeta confused by Krillin's confidence, but he ain't losing these Dragon Balls, are you dumb? He lunged at him anyway and throws a punch. To Vegeta's surprise, the punch goes straight through Krillin as it was just an after image. Due to Krillin moving so fast, Vegeta turns around and he sees Krillin hold on all the Dragon Balls. And he just thinks, it was luck, and goes to punch Krillin again, but Krillin easily dodges. This happens for a few seconds, with Vegeta just throwing a barrage of punches, but Krillin was too fast and easily dodged. Krillin now fed up with this, wasting time, just ducks down and throws a punch at Vegeta, hitting his stomach. It was meant to be a little light hit just to knock him away, but Krillin was not used to this new power, because keep in mind, yeah, he had 500 fighters, but he just got doubled. He was not used to it yet. And due to this punch ended up like actually engraving Krillin's fist on Vegeta's stomach, causing insane damage and sending him flying out of the cave. Krillin ran out to see that Vegeta was barely breathing. At first, Krillin didn't really care, but all he could remember was how Goku said how Vegeta wasn't really evil, he was raised evil. Krillin then goes back to Vegeta and wonders how he can even heal him. That's when Krillin senses someone else and turns quickly to see it was just a Namekian child. The child, seeing that he's been spotted, tries to run away, but Krillin appears in front of him and the child begins to panic. But Krillin goes, hey, calm down. Listen, I'm not an enemy, I'm sort of a friend. I'm here to help you. I've heard from someone else that he was the greatest warrior, and Nell, even he approves of me. Hearing that name, the child calms down and says, if you're a friend of Nell, then I guess I can trust you. And then he says, my name's Dende, by the way. Krillin smiles and says, Saints, I'm Krillin, but by any chance, do you know how I can help my friend over there, or any way I can heal him? Dende, seeing Vegeta, runs over to him and begins to heal him, and Krillin's just surprised with this. He says, sweet. But once Vegeta is fully healed, he sits up to see Krillin waiting for him to get up. Krillin laughs and says, geez, I thought we lost you there, mate. Vegeta jumps up and says, what happened? Krillin says, well, you attacked me for no reason. Well, no, it's because I took the Dragon Balls, and then you kept on trying to attack me, so I punched you, and then you flew out the cave, you nearly died, and then our friend over there healed you, and then, yeah, now you're pretty all caught up. Vegeta thinks for a moment and says, you got lucky, I was basically on the brink of death anyway, and that's when you attacked me, you won't get another chance, especially considering how I boosted my power level. Krillin says, but you attacked me! But he doesn't have time to get his point across as Vegeta attacks Krillin again. But Krillin is still effortlessly dodging these punches and ends up just bitch slapping Vegeta to save time, innit? This sends him flying into a rock. And before you say it, but what? Krillin can control his power now, just shut up. Vegeta gets out of these rocks confused and yells, how are you so powerful? Krillin says, because I train to be strong, not for myself, but for the people I care about, something that you will never understand. Hearing this hit hard to Vegeta, as the only people he really ever cared about was his father and his brother, but they're dead. Or his brother, you don't even know. Vegeta's self-reflection was cut short when he heard a voice that shot fear through his heart, but not only fear, rage. The voice said, Oh, Vegeta, how pitiful it is for you to be bested by this spoiled child. Krillin yells, hey, I'm not, but the voice just says, silent, I wasn't talking to you. Immediately Vegeta rushes at, we all know this to be Frieza, innit? Vegeta immediately rushes at Frieza and yells, Frieza! Just to be bitch slapped by Frieza's tail. This sends him back into the pile of rocks he was just in. And he just laid there thinking about how he'd been beaten 3 times in a matter of minutes. His pride had now been destroyed. He had to get stronger. Vegeta climbed out of these rocks to face Frieza, but to his surprise, Krillin stood in front of him and yelled, Frieza, what do you want? Frieza laughed and said, you're smarter than I thought. Listen, you little bored child, if you give me the Dragon Balls, I will let you go alive, even unharmed. This is a generous offer, you should accept it. You should accept it with pride. Krillin, now annoyed, says, I might have given you them, but since you just called me a child twice, I'm not giving them to you, you ugly bastard. Hearing this insult, Frieza is pissed. He's never been so disrespected by someone he viewed to be so beneath him. He immediately gets out of that floating pod, just for Krillin to laugh and says, you all want to talk about being short? This enrages Frieza, as one thing you don't do, you don't point out the man's height. He points at Krillin and says, get ready to die. He shoots that red beam, but just like what Goku did in Canon, Krillin slaps it away with ease. And then Frieza shoots another one, then another one, and essentially, just like what Goku did in Canon, he slapped it all away easy. This causes Frieza to laugh, while Vegeta just in shock, and Frieza says, you're stronger than I gave you credit for, but if you think being able to stop a measly ki blast means you can stand against me, Frieza, the Uner of the universe, you're fatally mistaken. Frieza leaves his pod and rushes at Krillin, attempting to hit him and end it with one punch, innit? But Frieza ain't what no one punch man, and Krillin easily dodges. And Vegeta, seeing this, can't believe his eyes. The weakest person that was there when he went to Earth is now easily dodging Frieza, someone who Vegeta always viewed to be the strongest of them all. Vegeta is in so much disbelief and denial. He begins to think that Krillin just has a special ability that lets him dodge everyone. That is until Krillin says, we trained so hard because we thought you were strong, but you're just weak, and he roundhouse kicks Frieza in the face and then flying away. Krillin then uses this little moment, using the power that the Guru gave him, and tells the others that he found the rest of the Dragon Balls. He found Vegeta and he found Frieza. They all said that on the way, but Frieza shoots back at full speed, now enraged that this man just hit him. Krillin laughs and says, "You're weak, bro. I can't lie, like you're lacking." Frieza is now so pissed off, he doesn't care about the Dragon Balls. He says, "I'm weaker, but this is only my first form." He then proceeds to transform to his second form. Krillin is now realizing why they trained so hard, as in a matter of seconds it went from Krillin dominating Frieza to Frieza now beating up Krillin. Frieza begins to beat Krillin's ass. Oh, I don't like saying no, listen, I'm sucked. I know you guys are gonna hate it, but you know what, you need a bit of my personality in these bloody videos. And if you're wondering why I have so much energy, it's just I don't even know. Anyway, I don't like saying arse and I don't like saying ass. America's ruined it for me. I'll be so real, because I like saying arse, but then every American I'm like who messaged me saying, "Oh, it's not arse, it's ass." Don't even know. But anyway, I've been caught off guard now. But he's now beating Krillin's arse, innit? Until Frieza hears someone yell, "Why didn't you pick on someone your own size?" He looks to the right, just throws Piccolo's fist to land perfectly on his face, sending him flying away. Krillin laughs and says, "Thank God you're here, that bastard's strong, man." Piccolo laughs and says, "Yeah, but I have a gut feeling he's only going to get stronger." As he says this, Frieza comes flying back in and yells, "How dare you sucker punch me!" He lunges at Frieza lunges at Piccolo, attempting to punch him, but Piccolo just sidesteps and kicks Frieza in the gut and says, "You're pissed off getting sucker punched. You've killed millions though." This kick makes Frieza cough up his own blood and he yells, "This is the second time in my entire life that I've ever seen my own blood. You will pay for this, you insignificant bastard." By the way, guys, I just got a flashback to In-Betweeners if you watched it. You inconsiderate arseholes. Watch it, guys. If you want to get some UK culture, watch In-Betweeners. It's one of my favourite shows. But not the US version, because that's some rubbish. Anyway. Before Frieza can finish his sentence, Piccolo right hooks him and then knees him in the face and says, "Now let's talk more fight." Piccolo for the next few minutes just demolishes Frieza until he eventually says, "Enough playing about, go into your final form already." Frieza laughs and says, "How do you know? Do you perhaps have some insider information?" Piccolo says, "No, you're just definitely the type who yells, 'And this is my final form.'" Hearing this hurt Frieza's pride a little bit. But he's right, because Piccolo was right. But he still transforms to his third form. The increase in power is a lot more than Piccolo expected, as Frieza begins to beat his ass, beats the shit out of him, innit? Until, yet again, someone yells, "Get your hands off him!" Frieza looks to the left this time, thinking it's going to be again. But Gohan's foot lands perfectly on Frieza's face. And Frieza yells, "If another person sucker punches me, I swear to God this planet is done." Gohan laughs and says, "What you gonna do about it, you lizard bitch?" and sticks his tongue out while pulling his eye down. Remember, Gohan ain't like the usual, he's on Black Air Force activity. Frieza tries to kick Gohan, but Gohan catches his leg and spins him around, and the Frieza just spin until Gohan yells, "Let it rip." If you understand that reference, you're my favourite fan, and Gohan chucks him. Frieza comes flying back in, but Gohan's just bullying him like fully to the point that even Piccolo feels bad and tells him to stop. Then turns to Frieza and says, "Stop wasting our time already, go to your final form." Frieza laughs and says, "Happily." He then proceeds to transform into his final form and yells, "This is my final form." Piccolo laughs and says, "Told you, you're that type of guy." Due to this, Frieza shoots a blast out of his finger and it goes straight through Piccolo's chest, and Piccolo drops to the ground and laid there. He wasn't dying, but he was weakened now and he managed to master the strength and yelled, "Totally worth it." Frieza, enraged by this, tries to shoot him again. But Gohan, now Zenkai boosted by the rage of seeing Piccolo get hurt, his power now jumps to 90 million and he flies up and roundhouse kicks Frieza dead on and then punches him down into the ground. He goes to fly down and attempt to go for another hit, but Frieza just kicks him away and says, "Sorry for giving you the false hope that you was winning. I just haven't used this form in a long time. And my body had to, how do I say this, adjust." Frieza gets ready to shoot Gohan with a blast, but quickly looked to his right and left to make sure no one else was about to sucker punch him, and as he was sure, he yells, "Get ready to duck." Before he can finish that sentence, Goku comes in from above and kicks Frieza in his head. And Frieza was now done with this and says, "That's it, the planet's done." He attempts to charge up and attack to blow up the planet, But Goku uses Kaioken to quickly blitz Frieza, knocking him to the ground. Frieza looked up confused. He's in his final form. How can someone hurt him like this? He looks at Goku and says, "Tell me your name." Goku says, "I am Son Goku from Earth, but my Saiyan name is Kakarot. And in the name of my brother Raditz and his people, and all the people you have wronged, I'm here to end your reign of terror, Frieza." Frieza laughs and says, "You damn Saiyans, I thought I wiped you all out. How do you expect to do that?" Goku uses Kaioken times 5 and begins to beat the absolute living shit out of Frieza, and I mean like bad. Like imagine Mike Tyson, yeah, just like scrapping with a toddler, like full right hook, body shot, uppercut, like all that stuff, yeah. And so he was just getting bullied. Now, like 5 minutes pass, and Frieza laid in this crater, bloody, beaten and defeated. The only thing he can think of, he cannot lose this fight without taking at least one of them out. So as soon as he got the chance, as soon as Goku let his guard down the slightest, at full speed, Frieza flew past Goku, and with his hand forcibly pierced it through Krillin's chest, killing him instantly. When Goku saw this, his whole world went silent. He had never experienced this before. No one close to him had ever died or been killed in front of him, especially someone as close to Krillin. Because remember, Goku's always been busted like that, so he's never had to experience this. All Goku could feel was anger. It was as if he became the anger itself, that this rage had become a part of Goku. His eyes became white, losing their pupils. As the ground began to shake, his hair would begin to slowly rise and drop and then rise again. But the same thing would happen to Gohan. Goku's power level was rising at an insane rate. It was as if he was in a constant state of permanent Zenkai boosting, you know. His hair began to flash in and out of a golden colour. And then suddenly a golden aura exploded from him and he let out a roar. His hair had become fully golden, as Goku had become the legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza looked on in horror as Vegeta looked on in amazement. However, don't sleep on Gohan, as him himself had a golden aura around him, but his hair remained black as he entered his full Super Saiyan form. Gohan, in a rage, tried to rush at Frieza, but Goku grabbed him by his ankle and said, "No, Gohan." Gohan was in such a blind rage, he continued to try ignoring Goku, and then Gohan yelled in a bit of a growl, "I said no, Gohan." This immediately brought Gohan back to reality, and he apologized, but Goku said no need. Just use the Dragon Balls and bring Raditz back to life, and revive Krillin and bring them both here. Gohan asks what should a third wish be, and Goku pauses for a moment and says, "Actually, no." He looks at Vegeta and says, "Tell the dragon to revive all the Saiyans and restore planet Namek, and as well as revive Raditz and bring him here. And then for the final wit, and then sorry, and then revive Raditz and Krillin and bring them here. I know I'm using more wishes than I meant to, but this is what I meant by the plot changes." And then Goku pauses and then after that he also says, "And for the third wish, ask him to give me the ability to teleport anywhere I want instantly, like instantaneous thing, innit?" Vegeta looked at Goku in confusion and said, "Kakarot, are you really going to revive the Saiyans? I thought you didn't care about them, about your Saiyan lineage." Goku looked at Frieza and said, "At first I didn't, but the more I thought about it, the more this feeling deep inside came to materialize itself, and I realized those are my people. And even though I didn't really know them, I didn't want you or Raditz to be alone." Vegeta smiles and says, "Thank you, Kakarot. I will never forget this." Goku says, "But there's one rule, Vegeta." Vegeta looks up concerned, thinking it was going to be something outrageous, for Vegeta to make Goku the new king, or for Vegeta to serve him for the rest of his life. Goku then says, "You have to try and change your ways. You have to try to see the good in life. As well as you have to come live on Earth for a year, and if you don't want to live there any longer, you're free to go wherever you want." Vegeta thinks about this for a moment and agrees, anything to revive his Saiyan race, innit? Then Gohan makes the wish. Planet Vegeta is restored, as well as the Saiyans being revived. Krillin and Raditz are revived and brought to Namek. Raditz opened his eyes confused and said, How am I here? What's going on?" He then sees Vegeta and bows down and says, "My prince." Vegeta scoffs and says, "Stand up, you no longer need to bow to me, as you are no longer a low-class Saiyan, especially if that is your brother." Raditz, confused by this comment, looks and sees Goku standing there with his golden hair above the defeated Frieza. He says, Kakarot, you really did it. You beat that bastard. Goku smiles and says, hey Raditz, I know we didn't get off to the best starts, considering I killed you. But I think I want to give this whole brother thing a chance. So maybe you can let the killing you thing go, because I did bring you back to life. Raditz laughs and says, sure. He then turns to Vegeta and says, make sure he doesn't do anything stupid please, until I get there. And he then tells Gohan to take Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin and Raditz to the ship and head home. It's 1:20 for me, by the way. That's why I'm yawning bears late in the morning. Gohan then says, what about you? But realizes that's why Goku wanted that teleportation ability. Gohan does this and is told, and leaves with Goku. Leaves with Piccolo, Vegeta, and Raditz. Then Goku is now standing above Frieza. He picks him up by the throat. He's enraged. He wants to just tear this man's head off. And his power is continuously rising, by the way. So he's still in that constant Zenkai state. He then begins to speak. He says, you are a monster, a waste of space, a waste of oxygen. But then Goku thinks for a moment and drops Frieza and says, no, there's been enough bloodshed for today. This is your one and only chance to leave here alive. Frieza, hearing this, stays quiet for a moment and says, no, kill me. This catches Goku off guard and he says, what? Frieza said, again, kill me. I have been beaten here today. I can no longer sit on my throne as a ruler of the universe, knowing that such an opponent exists. Goku sighs and says, you fucking idiot. He punched Frieza in his stomach, and I don't mean a little pussy punch, I mean full power, punched him in his stomach, and then picked him up by his toe and slammed him into the wall like he's engraved in this wall now. He says, if that's how you feel, then let me train and let me be your motivation to become stronger. And when you're strong enough, you know where to find me for a rematch. But if I hear you causing as much trouble as you have, I'll come and kill you instantly. After saying this, Goku gives Frieza enough energy to get off that, to get to his ship and that. I say, that should be enough for you to get to your ship. And Frieza, with this second chance, decides to take it and leave to his ship. Goku sits down and begins to meditate. This feeling of rage he has since Krillin died, he can't explain it. He begins to focus on this feeling, trying to figure out this power that he has. That suddenly just becomes stronger out of nowhere. And he meditates for days. These days become weeks. These weeks become months. And eventually, after 3 months, Goku manages to understand this ability. I'm not going to get too much into it. And he stands up and says to himself, time to head home. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this, make sure you share with your friends. Oh my god, 30 fucking minutes! If you did enjoy this video, make sure you share with your friends, family, like, subscribe, comment down below, share with everyone else, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another daily upload. I didn't realise it was going to get 30 minutes, so I'm not going to drag out too long guys. Hope you did enjoy it, and peace out guys, bye!